Alright, now we're going to move on to our Minted Green Pea Timbales. What you want to do first is get a pot of water going and bring it up to a boil so you can blanch your peas later on. But first we're going to separate our eggs into our egg yolk and egg whites. You're going to use the egg whites for the pea timbales, and you're going to use the yolks for later for the poached salmon with the mousseline sauce. So we go ahead and just separate these now, and you can either use your hands or use the shell. It's whatever you feel more comfortable with. Here, we'll start off. Go. And we're going to need 3 for this recipe. And the mousseline sauce actually calls for 3 yolks also, so it works out perfect. Alright. Cool. Now once you got those all separated, see, I went ahead and put my water on ahead of time, so it should be coming up to a boil pretty soon here. Alright, now that we have our water boiling, we're going to go ahead and blanch our peas. We're just going to go right here. Now you want to make sure you add just a little bit of salt to your water. It'll help speed up the process and give a little bit of flavor to the peas. You're going to let these blanch for about 2 minutes. It won't be very long. I mean, they are pretty small. So make sure you have your colander handy. We're going to just put this in the sink and run them over some cold water. And then I'll go straight to the food processor with that. I think I'm going to add a little bit more salt because I did add some extra water to it. There we go. Do a couple pinches in there. Alright, now that these are just going to be sitting here for a little while, I'm going to go ahead and kind of explain a little bit of what I understand what the timbales is. It's more or less a ramekin, a dish that they use in France, and any food that is cooked in a ramekin pretty much takes on the name of a timbale. So these minted green pea are going to get cooked in these ramekins. We're going to add a little egg whites and heavy cream. It's going to kind of turn into a light custard, like a pea custard, if you can imagine that one. I think it's going to pair nicely with the chicken and the roasted potatoes that we're going to do. But once these are about done, we're going to rinse them off and make sure you cool your peas down, because when you put them in the blender and add your egg whites and your heavy cream, you don't want to cook the eggs and get big old chunks of egg white in your custard. So let me go ahead and I'll turn this off and I'll start the process of cooling them down. Okay, now that we have our peas completely chilled, we're going to bring them over to the blender here and start putting them in. Careful not to throw them all over the counter. There we are. There we go. Okay. Oh, and we did have one guy escape. We'll just throw him back in there. Now what you want to do, we'll put in our sugar, a little pinch of salt, actually we'll do a couple pinches, a little bit of pepper, there we go, and then we're going to puree this, or at least start breaking it down after we add our mint in. Now it might not necessarily go right away, we'll just keep pulsing it until it finally breaks down. Okay, as you see, there's not a whole lot of moisture in the peas, so you do just want to keep working at it and make sure you don't dip your spatula too far down into so you get bits of spatula in your peas. But just be careful and keep it going until you get this nice green and semi-smooth mixture. We're going to keep going at this and try to work it a little bit more, and then we'll add the egg whites one at a time and then follow with the cream. And hopefully it'll loosen up a little bit more and we'll be able to pour it out of here. So I think I've gotten pretty much the consistency I like. I'm just going to finish it up a little bit, a few pulses, and to get any remainders that left in, any remaining chunks. All right. Now we do have our oven preheated to 350, and we have sprayed and lined our ramekins with just your typical cooking spray. We put a little disc of parchment paper in the bottom, so when they come out we can just cut across and drop them right on the plate. There we go. So now we're just going to be adding some water to our baking dish here, and you want to fill the water up to about halfway up the ramekins to give a water bath so it doesn't completely burn up on the sides and the bottoms of the ramekins. Kind of acts like a cushion in the oven. There we go. That looks good. Now we're going to put some foil over top of it, poke some vent holes, and put it in our oven. And we're going to check back in about 20-25 minutes to see how they're doing. Careful not to slosh it around too much. There we go. Alright, so we'll check back in about 30 minutes. There we go. Okay, so now we're back to check on our minted green pea timbales. Now they did take a little bit longer than anticipated. It was about 50 to 55 minutes. Just go in there. Check all these here. Be careful when you bring these out because it is hot. Okay. Okay. There we are. Okay. So after you've taken them out, an easy way to test to make sure that they're done, just insert a toothpick into one of them. Comes out clean, you're good to go. If you like to prep this in a day in advance, it's easy. You just do the same procedure, take them out, put them in the fridge, they'll hold overnight. And the day of your party, stick them back in the baking dish with hot boiling water, cover them, and they'll warm up in about 5 to 10 minutes. And this is the minted green pea timbales.